If I was starting from scratch again and I had 40 pounds of body fat to lose, I'd only focus on this one thing. And it doesn't involve keto, fasting, expensive supplements, and none of that shit. And it is an honest calorie deficit. Key word there being honest. Because the deficit you think you're in probably doesn't exist. Here is exactly how I'd run it and how ignoring everything else will get you there faster. Think about every diet you've tried to run in the past, whether that's keto, fasting, low carb. All of the diets that have a name on it are just trying to trick you into creating a calorie deficit. And for some people, that's fantastic. But realistically, if you tried them in the past before and keep on failing, it's probably not a new diet name that you need. It's a completely different approach. A lot of people go straight to things like supplements and say, what supplements can I buy to help me lose this weight? I'm telling you now, if you've got 40 pounds of fucking body fat to lose, do not worry about supplements. They're going to be a complete waste of time. All of the benefits you're looking for from supplements, you're going to be able to get from eating a better, cleaner, more nutritious diet in the first place. Cardio is obviously another one that I see people chucking loads into. And whilst cardio is going to burn some calories, you're never, ever, ever going to outwork a bad diet by doing endless hours of cardio. Cardio will help to burn the fat, but it's not the thing that built the fat in the first place. So let's deal with that first, and then we can fine-tune stuff with cardio down the line. And off the back of seeing people go on these weight loss journeys and watching videos like this, you go onto them and you see perfect macros, perfect training splits, the perfect fucking life, which just doesn't survive your actual week on your actual life. So stop focusing on trying to get your meal timings perfect, your perfect macros, all of that sort of stuff. You just need to get started, and then you can add to it as you build consistency. You can't add on something that you haven't got. It's so important when you're at this stage to focus on the big rocks, which are really going to help get you moving, okay? And that is going to be, are you sustaining a negative energy balance consistently? You can then start to layer all this stuff on down the line. Just a quick one, there's a free calorie calculator in the link below. Click that, it's going to help you set up everything so you can get started with some numbers to work off. Now, before you can actually decide what deficit you need to be in, you need to get really good at tracking, honestly. You can't run a deficit of numbers that you just don't know exist, or they're not very accurate. Okay, so if I was trying to lose 40 pounds, the first thing I would do is actually see what my intake is. Not just Monday to Friday when I'm eating nice and clean and it looks good, but I'll track a whole week and I'll track it accurately. Weigh everything out, the sauces, the oils, the drinks, the little snacks here and there, everything. Get a real visual representation of what you're doing at the minute. Alongside that, I'd also take my body weight every morning as soon as I woke up, and then I'd take a weekly average. You'll be surprised how quickly though, that little snack in between your meals or when you're at work, all those little bits add up. Okay, so this first week we're collecting evidence and we're creating data to work with, because once we've got data, we can make better decisions. If you skip this part and don't think it's important, wait until your weight slows down later on, you try and change things and your tracking's off. Spend this first week setting the foundations, and then you can build from there. So now your deficit is set and you're getting started into it, but now comes the important part, because none of the stuff we just done matters if you don't take into account the next steps. I want you to make commitments and decisions about when you're going to do the things you know you need to do. So what period of time can you get out and have a walk so you can increase your expenditure in a day? What days does it make most sense for you to get your gym sessions scheduled in? Try and keep them on the same days every week where possible so you can get in a better routine with it. It's not always going to be possible, but by sitting there and actually looking at the start of the week, when makes the most sense to train, you can think ahead instead of being reactive throughout the week. And I would simplify nutrition as much as possible. As much as it fucking looks great on Instagram when you've got people eating all these different foods and these different diets, you want repeatable meals. So for myself, I would probably go for the same breakfast every single day, the same lunch, and then I'd probably rotate my dinners to give me a little bit more flexibility around food and make it sustainable and enjoyable for me. I would keep the food pretty boring on purpose, but still enjoyable, okay? You've got to want to eat the meals that you've got in your plan, or you're just not going to stick to them. Why would you? The more simple you keep your foods, the more repeatable you keep your foods, the less decisions you're going to be making in the week when you're at work, when the kids have got school clubs and stuff like that, and it just makes everything a lot more simple. Adherence is going to be the key point to this actually working for you. And of course the weekend, okay? The weekend is going to be make or break for most people. If weekends didn't exist, most people would probably be in better shape, because you can diet hard Monday to Friday, but then within 2 days you can completely wipe your deficit out with alcohol, fast food, all of that sort of stuff. So go into the weekend with some structure, okay? Look at what you've got planned for the week. Then think ahead. If you need to pull some calories off Monday to Friday to create a bigger buffer at the weekend, and instead of looking at your calorie target as a daily target, which feels unsustainable for you at the weekend, okay, you can eat a little bit less in the week when you're at work and you're busy and you're just in the zone, and then have a little bit more flexibility around food in the weekend. That's something that AI calorie calculator in the link below will show you how to set up, and it will actually set it up for you. 40 pounds is a big journey, okay? You have to have non-negotiables that are going to keep you going along the way, because there will be weeks that are good weeks, there will be some not so good weeks. But if you have non-negotiables that you put in no matter what, then you're going to have a lot more success. If this was me trying to lose 40 pounds, the 3 non-negotiables I would have is having a daily step target that I hit no matter what. I would plan my week in advance, scheduling my sessions, what days I'm training, what days I'm not, okay, and I'd have repeatable meals, all right? I'd eat 2 out of 3 of the same meals or 3 out of 4 of the same meals, depending on how many you have in a day, the exact same, because that's going to give me a lot of structure and deal with a lot of the legwork of nutrition. One of the biggest reasons you probably haven't lost that 40 pounds that you've got to lose is because you're seeing the progress too slow. Putting non-negotiables in place is going to give you a solid base to always still see some level of progress. But of course, you don't just want to take it slow. All right. What you've got to understand when you're losing 40 pounds is you're going to see the first bit of weight loss, or you should be seeing the first bit of weight loss quickly. Okay. The first fat will come off fast, and it'll feel like you can almost get away with anything. But by working on the stuff that's going to help you see the whole job out, like putting those non-negotiables in place, when the scale weight does start to slow down or it does get a little bit tougher because you've taken the easy fat off, you've got the foundation set. You're not then trying to do it when it's actually harder to do it at that point in time, and maybe you're a bit more fatigued for dieting for a period of time. So focus on putting the stuff in place at the start that's going to help carry you the full way, and you can then build and layer it on as you get more competent with it. The key to seeing this through is that momentum, because when you're waking up every week and you're seeing the changes in the mirror, that is going to motivate you to keep going. That's going to work better than any hack, any tip that you'll ever get from a YouTube video, okay? Is diet at a pace that feels rewarding, okay? A lot of people think that 1,000 calorie deficit a day is twice as hard as 500 calorie deficit a day. That's so wrong. It might be an extra 20, 30% harder, okay, but you're going to get twice the speed of result. If I said to you, work twice the amount of time and you're going to get paid double, you probably wouldn't want to do it. But if I said to you, work 20 to 30% extra time, but you're going to get paid double, you'd probably rip my fucking hand off. And it's no different when it comes to your weight loss. On the weeks where you feel like you're struggling, remember it is so important that these weeks are protected, because everyone can do it when it feels easy, when they're motivated and all that stuff. But by putting the solid non-negotiables in place and sticking to them, adherence protects momentum. Momentum protects you actually wanting to carry on this journey. This isn't how it's going to be forever. You've got a job to get done, okay? Fat loss is a season, it isn't a lifestyle. Once you take the body fat off, you go for a properly structured reverse diet, it's then going to feel a lot more sustainable, because you'll be able to eat 500 to 1,000 calories more a day and hold the same shape you've got into. But this is the bit now where you're going to have to suck up the shit and unfortunately deal with past consequences for actions of getting where you are today. And that isn't a dig, that is just the reality. You'll genuinely be closer than you think to losing that 40 pounds. It isn't these one big off huge efforts that make this happen. It's the small repeatable decisions you make on a daily basis, and the more decisions you do and repeat like that, it's going to form part of your identity, and that is going to take time to shift. Okay, the person that is starting this journey at 40 pounds to lose versus the person that's got it off will be a different person, okay? And that is forged through the small actions you take or don't take, of course. That is everything I would do if I had 40 pounds to lose. I'd create an honest calorie deficit, and I'd start by assessing where I'm at the minute, tracking everything, okay? Because if you're someone that says, I'm eating 1,000 calories a day and I'm not losing weight, I hate to break it to you, you're not eating 1,000 calories a day. You're just not tracking it. And by tracking it, weighing everything out, you're going to build better food awareness that is going to stick for you long after this fat loss is done and help you maintain it later down the line. I'd put non-negotiables in place, things that you're going to stick to every day, no matter what, even if you have to move a fucking mountain to get it done. And focus on showing up consistently, okay? This journey isn't going to happen overnight, but you need to make it happen as fast as possible so you don't burn out and so you don't lose interest and motivation in it. Protect your momentum, okay? A couple of things done really fucking well are going to be getting distracted, jumping from diet to diet, trying to chuck the absolute kitchen sink at it with cardio, all of that sort of stuff. It isn't needed if you've got 40 pounds to lose. Make sure you download that calorie calculator in the link below. It will help you get this all set up and it will help you build this around your life. Hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please make sure you drop it a like and give the channel a subscribe for plenty more coaching content, and I'll catch you in the next one.